Hello everyone, it's Attacker Stability here, and for today, the Nintendo Switch. Its library is very, very huge. We got a lot of games that you can see and can list from. Going from games from Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 and 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Kirby Star Allies. I could go on with the first parties, and not just first parties, but even other third-party games and anime exclusive games, and also indie titles, going from Hollow Knight, Sonic Frontiers, we got Omori. There's just a lot of games that I really want to go on. However, not every Switch game is always the best. There are some bad apples there, but in this video, I want to be specifically talking about and also doing a ranking video on all of the Nintendo Switch games so far that have gotten this free updates approach. For the past few years, well, actually, ever since the Switch came out, there's been a lot of games that suffered the free updates approach. And if you don't know what I really mean by that, it's for specifically games that are, released, but it feels like most of the content was missing. And so, Nintendo decided to do is basically give them free updates every once in a while as sort of like a longevity in some way. And to me, in my opinion, it's sort of just like it's kind of like just free unlockables without actually doing the unlockables, because, I mean, come on, back then, unlocking characters with a lot of, requirements and challenge was the best thing before they went over this. So, I got a list of games here that has suffered through this, and for this ranking, I'm going to be talking about whether the game is worth it after the free updates are finished, whether Nintendo or the developers are doing the free updates correctly, whether its content is worth add-in, or feels like it should have been from the very start, or I kind of feel, and obviously my opinion and all. So my list is going to be a little bit different from what you think, so just don't get angry in the comments if you see your favorite game in the very bottom of the list. I just want to be listing them by how well they do the free updates and other content and such, and so that, let's not waste time, and let's get started with ranking all of the Nintendo Switch games with free updates. Alrighty, let's start with the last place in this ranking. Number 8 is obviously Nintendo Switch Sports. You knew it had to come when you saw it in the thumbnail, and let's just be honest, Switch Sports, as much as how enjoyable it is, no one can deny that the way they handle it is such a mess, because where do I even begin? So when they first announced Switch Sports now getting a brand new installment, we all were like, wow, a new iteration to the Wii Sports genre? I cannot wait. The first problem is where it starts, and that is the brand new Sports Mates. After some time, I did get used to them. It just felt like they kind of removed the purpose of what made Wii Sports to begin with, and that was the Miis. Because ever since the Switch came out, Miis are basically regulated into just simple profile pictures or characters, instead of other games like, I don't know, the Wii Sports. And while Miitopia came out last year, it still didn't really help the Miis at all. And we thought that Switch Sports was going to be the big return, but now we get to see these new Sports Mates pretty much just removing the purpose of what made them so popular. Another thing to mention is that how very low the content is. Like, there are 6 sports in total, going from volleyball, badminton, bowling, soccer, chambara or swordplay, and tennis. Keep in mind, but I want to let you know that out of all those sports, 2 of them actually played the same. Well, technically 3, but tennis is basically the original. While badminton and volleyball are just kind of has the same rules. Make sure you hit the ball or whatever in the other side and you get points. I cannot believe that. And bowling, and not only that, tennis, bowling, and chambara, which is basically just swordplay from Wii Sports Resorts, are technically ones we've seen already in the past with the Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. So the only thing that was even new was soccer. Even then, soccer is still bad because you can't actually play soccer with the leg strap, because usually when you buy a physical edition they always have a leg strap, but for some reason you couldn't do that in like regular soccer games. But no, instead they decided to do a free summer update where you can actually put the leg strap and play it in regular soccer play. The fact that we have to wait at least 2 months for this, like 2 to 3 months, is baffling. And don't get me started on the sport of golf. It was initially supposed to come out this fall of 2022, and now suddenly it went from winter. How is that possible? It is golf. Overall, And the last thing is that you can, since these sportsmates are now part of the new mascot, that you can actually customize them. How exactly? Well, you have to play the game every single week to get these cosmetics, and usually in every single Thursday, that's usually when I get those cosmetics. You can customize their hair, their outfits, their stickers, your title, your equipment, and all that. You don't do that and just like you don't play these sports and then get some points so you can go to the shop. No, you have to do this weekly, and that's going to be very tedious if you don't play that much sport. If you don't play that much Switch sports, because not only do they not tell us whether or not they're going to be gone forever, it's basically happening every week. So these cosmetics is not going to be worth it when you don't really know when they're ever gonna come back. So that's why Switch Sports is in the very bottom of the free updates. This is the worst example of the game, and while it is by far Nintendo's one of the best-selling Nintendo Switch games for home consoles currently, it still doesn't really excuse the fact that it just feels so incomplete and is such a bad example of what it is to have the free updates. I used to think Switch Sports had potential, but as time goes on, I'm pretty sure many has just forgotten about this game existing at this point. I just kind of find it weird how we got a lot of big games this year, from Bayonetta 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Sonic Frontiers, and then there's Switch Sports. Can you really explain that to me? Alright, I'm sorry if that whole segment was just me kind of ranting, but it really shows how bad that free update was. But that can also be the same. That can also be said the same for Pokemon's Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Man, I've seen many wanted to get a remake of Gen 4 for the past few years, and we finally got one. So, was it worth it? Absolutely not. Now, here's the thing. It still is pretty fun to play if you're just a casual Pokemon player. I mean, I am personally. But this also sort of suffered the free update standpoint. First of all, the gameplay itself, for a game that is supposed to be a quote-unquote remake, it just feels so underwhelming. It doesn't have that much. It didn't really feel like a remake. It's more of a remaster, because the difference between a remake is games that completely change the entire thing, especially with the story, while still keeping its original source material. Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake and Final Fantasy 7 remake are examples of very good remakes. Remasters would kind of be like, I guess, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and I guess Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, but Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, how did it suffer the free updates? First of all, it didn't really have that much Platinum version content. Many preferred Pokemon Platinum as the best iteration of Generation 4, but there was barely any content that involves from it. Instead, we've gotten its outfit, we got Giratina in its origin form, and then that's about it. Now, where does the free updates come in handy? Well, they usually do that with specific mythical Pokemon from Shaman and Darkrai. Now, I can honestly understand those things, but it definitely is a shame for those who may not get these two Pokemon. But then there's Arceus. Arceus is a big problem because not only is it very difficult to get Arceus, you have to buy Pokemon Legends Arceus in order to get it. And another thing I have to mention is that there were a few bugs that were found in some games, so they had to just suffer through that and basically had to update it, so it's already a buggy thing. This game is already buggy as it is. And I actually forgot to mention another thing back to Switch Sports, is that it also just got a bug recently and had to be updated, so I find it funny how these two games are connected. But back to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it definitely is by far, if not one of the most underwhelming Pokemon games they've ever released, and with the free updates, it definitely didn't help. And also, I mean, if you really wanted a Darkrai or a Shaman, then good luck trying to, I don't know, find a copy of it or something. Number 6 is Mario Golf Super Rush. Hey, I see what you did there, Nintendo, with that name. Get it, everybody? Super Rush? This definitely is a Super Rush. Now, currently, there are 3 Mario sports games on the Switch, going from tennis, golf, and Mario, and strikers, or soccer, or whatever. But I will say that Mario Golf Super Rush is by far the worst installment out of the 3 sports games that got in this free update. Because, first of all, the content itself. It's definitely is shallow. Now, we got 15 characters, well, 16, and a few different courses, golf courses for, your whole, for, when you play golf and all. And there are a few modes. We got the regular golf, then there's speed golf, and then there's also that one special golf I can't really recall, and then there's also story mode. Story mode is a little underwhelming from what I played. It was just okay. I mean, yeah, playing the Mii's again, having the Mii's being a big role is really something, but there was really nothing else I can truly say about it. And not only that, it lacks something, and that, my friend, is charm. Mario Golf games usually has a lot of charm in it. You get to see the characters having fun, be expressive, and basically show what Nintendo is capable of in terms of expressions and fun. However, Super Rush didn't do that. Like compare Mario Golf but compare, I don't know, Mario Golf World Tour and the 3DS when it comes to its charm, animations, and care, and compare those animations and those likeness to this one. And let's see what you get. Basically, absolutely nothing. For some reason, Mario Golf Super Rush lacks the charm. And not only that, I did say it only has 16 characters at the start, and so we decided to get a few new characters for the next few months when it came out. From Toadette to Wiggler, Shy Guy, Koopa, and Ninja, etc., etc. And then, that's about it. Super Rush is a game that was basically rushed. It only lasted about 3 to 4 months, and that's about it. Not only that, I did say that the game felt so unfinished because some of the character models look so off and doesn't give out such life and expressiveness. So not only did the free updates didn't help the game at all, it also pretty much shows that it kind of just doesn't feel like Mario Golf. It just feels like golf, and that's about it. Number 5 is another installment of Mario sports games, is Mario Tennis Aces. Now, in my opinion, they definitely did Mario Tennis a bit more better other than the last tennis game they came up for the Wii U. I really don't want to talk about it, but Tennis Aces, did they do better after the last game that involved tennis? Absolutely. However, it still kind of suffered the whole free updates thing with Mario Golf. But unlike Mario Golf, at least they managed to do a little bit more better in terms of it. Now, they do actually give out some characters and some personalities, especially with the special shots. And then there's also the big problem being story mode. Story mode itself only consists of you playing Mario with an occasional side of Peach and Daisy, and that's about it. You basically have to go through a lot of stuff, play a bit of mini games, go through play a tennis game, and that's about it. And then there's the other one being the free updates. Every month ever since the game came out at around June of 2018, there's always been a brand new character added on there, which kind of just, like I said, unlocking characters back then was the best part of, playing a game whenever it went back as a kid. So the fact that you can really do that in Mario Tennis Aces seems a little underwhelming, especially when they had to add at least about 5 to 17 new characters, and then that's truly about it. Tennis Aces, while enjoyable, they definitely gave out a lot more care than Golf did. I do think it still kind of lacks a lot of things, and even when after you play story mode, there's not much else you can say about it. Plus, it also lacks more of the Mario charm. Yes, I did say it still has it with the characters and personalities and expressions and special shots, but it's kind of just feels like a Mario tennis game and not just... It just feels like a tennis game, but not Mario Tennis. Number 4 is ARMS. ARMS itself is a very underrated game, to say the least. When it came out back in 2017, we all thought it was going to be a successful game. Until as time goes on, there was nothing else about it. Nowadays, the game is barely been talked about. The concept is fun. The characters and designs are very unique and goofy. I mean, come on, who doesn't love to play as Helix or Kid Cobra? But it does suffer from the free updates. Now, I will talk about it in the future, and I will talk about, it further on in the video, but ARMS did have only got about 12, wasn't 8 or 10 characters, and they also added 5 characters, and so that's really about it. There was no new modes. Yes, there was also the main campaign, but then there's nothing else. There's truly nothing else aside from seeing lore, getting some interesting photos and photos and some screenshots of your favorite characters, and that's really about it. Like I said, ARMS is a pretty underrated game. It pretty much is. Has a unique concept. The gameplay is fun, but it pretty much lacks a lot of other content aside from adding 5 new characters, and that's truly about it. Now, I was kind of having a hard time between what the number 3 spot would be, so I'm gonna say that Mario Strikers Battle League is the third part in this list, because out of all the 3 sports games that consist of Mario in this list so far, and in terms of the sports titles in general, Strikers Battle League is by far the best out of all those 3. Let me tell you why. One, the game is very, very fun. It is intense, it is very fun when you play against other players, and especially when very high CPUs. Not only that, every single character has shown a lot of charm and expressions. The game is fun, and there's a lot of content in here. Well, I actually wouldn't say content, because there's some parts about it. We got the normal play, then there are cup battles, which you can also play, which you can basically unlock in order to get a lot of coins. Then there's also the seasonal club rankings, I think that's what you call, and then the gear system, which is basically its major point. Online and then gear. While unlocking gear is fun, it can be a little tedious because you have to actually get a lot of coins, and they are very expensive. They all cost 100 coins for all simple gear, 300 if you manage to beat the championship cup, and also the other free updates. And since this is a free update, they obviously add in at least 6 characters. 4 out of the 6 has been released, but they never specified whether or not there's ever going to be more characters coming out in 2023, which is going to be very concerning when this game is going to die off in about a few months, because it could be like a Mario Golf Super Rush situation, but to me, it feels like the reason Mario Strikers Battle League didn't be, because, I just think that it wasn't on Next Level Games, decision. This was more likely on Nintendo. It has been 15 years since the last Mario Strikers game, and this is what we get. Don't get me wrong, it still suffers the whole free update standpoints. So, like I said, the gear is 100 coins each, and it can be very tedious to get a lot of it, but it can still be fun. The characters and gameplay is still, great to play, and that's all I can truly say about it. But this is by far the best sports title on the Nintendo Switch that consists of Mario, and best out of the 3. Number 2 is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, I was gonna put it very low, but as time goes on, I guess I can say that Animal Crossing New Horizons can get a bit of a slap on the wrist, and that's about it. So, when the game came out, it was gonna get brand new free updates every single month until it ends off. Every single month, they always added a new update that feels like it should have been from the very start for some reason. I don't know why, because every single month they always add holidays, new stuff, and then lastly, at around last year of November of 2021, they do manage to add a brand new DLC, being Happy Home Paradise, which is basically a sequel to Happy Home Designer, so that's kind of a plus in a way. And they did manage to add other things, such as, the frog share, the iconic frog share, even add in some, I can't really recall what Animal Crossing or New Horizons added, but every single Monday always add in new holidays, new items, and especially new fish. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. This is the second reason. This is pretty much in second place, because they did manage to do it a little bit more better in terms of free updates, and that's all I can say about it. You can still get this game if you want to, after all, since it's pretty much been complete, and you can also get Happy Home Designer for around a price of $25, and that's really about it. And finally, the last and first place of the whole free updates is obviously the Splatoon games. The trilogy, to be exact. Ever since Splatoon came out at around 2015, it became a nice and refreshing change of pace for the Nintendo fans. I like playing the game. like playing a bit of a battle royale game while also inking your opponent's turf is quite refreshing as it is. Plus, they always add a new, and plus they manage to do the free updates very, very well, because they usually get a lot. You would mostly go online, and if you don't want to do the whole single player content, you can basically just do story mode, which is technically its own, which is basically just single player content. I meant multiplayer right there, and there's even adding some new items. There's always going to be adding new emotes. They're going to be adding a lot more stuff. Plus, even adding DLC that are paid makes it even more better, especially with the Octo expansion pack that came out for Splatoon 2. So, overall, I really do want to say that despite the Switch's library having by far one of the largest ones we've seen, there are still a few games that has suffered the whole free update standpoint, but at least a few of them were done right. They were fun to do, and while it's supposed to be known for its longevity, I kind of wish Nintendo had to do it a bit more better in terms of its other games. But I want to know all your thoughts and opinions down below about this. What do y'all think is the best free game, Nintendo Switch game, that consists of the free updates? And so with that, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos. Follow my Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember this: once a legend, always a legend. Like a Hellcat.